You know that very specific, really annoying feeling.
I think I know exactly where you're going with this.
You open up whatever AI tool you're using, you've got this blinking cursor just staring at you, and you have a big task in front of you.
Right? Like maybe you need a marketing plan or you have to write a really difficult email to a client who's upset.
Exactly. So you sit there and you type in something completely logical like, write me a marketing plan. You hit enter, you wait a couple seconds, the text streams out, and it's just,
Beige.
yes, beige, that is the perfect word for it.
It's that generic internet voice. It's polite, it's grammatically correct, but it is just completely uninspired.
Underwhelming. And then here comes the part that really kills me. You spend the next 45 minutes just rewriting the whole thing,
Oh yeah, tweaking the tone, fixing the facts.
trying to make it sound like an actual human being wrote it. And by the end of it, you're sitting there thinking, I could have just done this myself in 20 minutes.
It feels like the tool completely failed you.
It really does. It's the, I'll just do it myself tax.
It is a universal experience right now. But looking at the materials for our breakdown today, the research actually suggests that feeling a failure, it isn't a software problem.
Really?
Yeah, it's a thinking problem.
Ouch. A thinking problem. That sounds a little, accusatory.
It might sound a bit harsh, but it is just the reality of how these large language models actually work. When you tap a vague prompt like, help me grow my business,
Which people do all the time.
all the time. But when you do that, you're essentially handing the model a blank sheet of paper and saying, guess what I'm thinking.
And because these models are designed to be helpful above all else, they don't just say, hey, I don't know what you want.
Exactly, they guess.
And when they usually guess wrong. Or well, at least they guess average.
Precisely. They revert to the mean. They give you the most statistically probable answer based on everything they've ever ingested from the internet, which by definition is average. Sure, it's the median of human knowledge. Yeah. Which is rarely what you actually want when you're trying to be strategic or creative.
So today is all about stopping that cycle. We are doing a structural breakdown into a guide on precision prompting, specifically focusing on 5 structural patterns.
And we should be clear for everyone watching, this isn't about memorizing magic words.
Right, no cheat codes. We aren't going to tell you to type abracadabra at the end of your sentences.
No magic spells here, just logic. We're moving from chatting with a bot to actually engineering a result.
I love that distinction. Moving from chatting to engineering, because the stakes here are actually higher than just getting a bad paragraph of text. The source material talks a lot about this idea of cognitive fatigue.
That concept really resonated with me. If you think about it, if you spend an hour wrestling with an AI, correcting its hallucinations, fighting the formatting.
Yeah, that is energy you aren't spending on the actual creative work.
Exactly, it's a hidden cost, it's friction in your workflow.
So the real mission of this structural breakdown is to solve that friction. We want to move from random prompts giving random outputs to structural patterns that give you predictable leverage.
Predictable leverage. Okay, I like that.
So let's jump straight into the first pattern. Yeah, the research calls this the absolute foundation. Like if you get this wrong, nothing else really matters.
It's called the role goal constraints pattern.
Role goal constraints. It sounds simple enough.
It does sound simple, but I'd argue 90% of people only do one of them.
They just do the goal.
Exactly. Write a blog post, give me a recipe, plan my trip. That is just the goal. But imagine you're hiring a contractor to build a house.
Okay, I'm tracking with you.
If you just walk up to the contractor and say, build me a house, and then you just walk away, what are you going to get?
I'm probably going to get a bill for $10 million and a house I hate, or maybe just a shed.
Right. You didn't give them blueprints, you didn't check the zoning laws, and you definitely didn't give them a budget.
Which is a disaster.
A total disaster. And that's exactly what this pattern fixes. The role gives the model an identity so it knows who it is. The goal is the specific outcome you want, and the constraints, which is the part everyone forgets, those are the boundaries. It's telling the model what not to do.
Let's make this real for the person watching this breakdown. The source gives a great example about a solo builder trying to grow a newsletter. A bad prompt would just be, help me grow subscribers.
And the model will spit out posts on social media, use SEO, maybe run some ads.
Totally useless generic advice.
Wait, now let's apply the pattern. For the role you say, act as a newsletter growth advisor for creators under 10,000 subscribers.
Highly specific.
Then the goal, design a 90-day organic growth roadmap.
Okay.
And finally, the constraints. Budget is 0. Time available is 5 hours per week. Avoid tactics requiring collaborations or cold outreach.
Wow, just hearing you say that out loud, I can already see the output changing in my head. Budget is 0 creates a completely different strategy than unlimited budget.
That is the secret. Without the identity, the role, the LLM defaults to that beige internet voice. And without the constraints, it just optimizes for verbosity.
It just wants to write more words to please you.
Exactly. Constraints actually force it to be creative inside a box, saying budget is 0, forces it to dig deep into its training data to find scrappy, organic tactics instead of just giving you the standard buy Facebook ads advice.
That old saying, right? Creativity loves constraint. But there is a trap here too that the source brings up: role overload.
Oh yes, this is such a common mistake. People think they need to say, act as a Nobel Prize-winning genius with 200 years of experience and an IQ of 500.
It sounds like you're trying to flatter the machine.
It really does, but it doesn't actually help. Specificity beats grandiosity every time. You don't need a super genius. You need a B2B SaaS growth strategist. The more grounded and specific the role, the better the relevant training data pulls from.
Keep it grounded. Okay, so we've got our foundation, role goal constraints. But even if the content is good, sometimes the format just drives me crazy.
Oh, I know.
I'll ask for a list and I get a giant block of text, or I'll ask for a quick summary and I get a novel.
Which brings us perfectly to the second pattern, context cask format. This one is all about usability.
Usability is a huge word here. It's about not having to spend 20 minutes reformatting the exact thing you just asked for.
The source puts it so well. It says, context controls relevance, but format controls usability. If you find yourself constantly saying, make it shorter, or put this in bullet points, you have failed to prompt correctly.
Guilty as charged.
You're doing manual labor that the machine should be doing for you.
So how does context task format fix that?
You structure the prompt with 3 clear sections. Context gives the background info so the model isn't guessing. Task is the specific action you want. And format is exactly how the output should look.
Let's look at the investor question scenario from the notes. Say you're a founder pitching a new AI tool. A bad prompt is just, what questions will investors ask?
Right. And the model gives you a generic list. What is your market size? Who is your team?
Which is fine. It's accurate, but I could have Googled that.
So apply the pattern. Context. I'm pitching a pre-revenue B2B AI tool for legal document analysis.
Okay, setting the stage.
Task. List likely investor questions. Format. A table with 3 columns: category, question, and why it matters.
I love that why it matters column. That's something I wouldn't have even thought to ask for if I wasn't specifically thinking about the format.
And that's the beauty of it. By defining the format as a table with specific headers, you are forcing the model to think in those exact categories. You aren't just getting a wall of text. You're getting a tool you can use immediately. You just copy and paste that table right into your prep doc.
That's real leverage. Okay, so we have the foundation and we have the usability, but what about when we need the AI to actually think?
Like solve a complex problem.
Yeah, not just generate text, but reason through something.
This is where we get into chain of thought scaffolding. This is pattern number 3, and it is crucial for decision making.
Chain of thought scaffolding. It sounds like construction work again.
It kind of is. You are building a scaffold for the model's logic. The core insight here is that LLMs tend to compress reasoning.
Compress reasoning.
Yeah, if you ask a complex question, they try to jump straight to the final answer. But for high-stakes decisions, you don't want the jump, you want to see the steps.
Oh, it's like math class. The teacher doesn't just want the answer, they want to see your work.
Exactly, you want to force the model to show its work. The workflow looks like this: analyze inputs, extract factors, propose options, recommend a path, and then give the final output.
The example in the source is about pricing, which is notoriously hard to get right. If I just ask an AI, what should I charge for my course? I'm going to get a completely random number.
Probably 97, because that's what everyone charges.
Instead, you scaffold it. You literally break it down into steps in the prompt. Step 1, identify cost structure. Step 2, compare competitor price ranges in this specific niche.
Makes sense.
Step 3, suggest 3 price tiers, low, mid, and high. And step 4, recommend the optimal tier and justify it.
So you're actually commanding the AI to stop and think at each stage before moving to the next one.
You are. And what's fascinating is that by breaking it down, the model actually performs better. It accesses different parts of its latent space for each step, rather than trying to hallucinate a single perfect answer all in one go.
It prevents the hallucination because you aren't asking for a massive leap of faith. You're asking for a walk up the stairs.
But there's a warning here from the source material. Don't scaffold a tweet.
Right, don't overcomplicate simple things.
Exactly. Use this for complex logic, strategic decisions, or when there are a lot of variables. If you just need a list of ice cream flavors, you don't need a 5-step reasoning chain.
Good to know. Don't use a sledgehammer to crack a nut. Moving on to pattern number 4, this one is for anyone who is sick of their AI sounding, well, like an AI.
Oh, we all know the words delve tapestry in the realm of
Unlock. That's the one I see everywhere. Unlock your potential, unlock the future.
it is an absolute cliché festival.
So pattern number 4 is contrast and boundaries.
This is all about killing those clichés. The expert insight here is that LLMs explore probability space. They are literally just looking for the most likely word to come next.
And unfortunately, the most likely words are often the most overused marketing speak fluff found on the internet.
So how do we stop it? How do we get it to sound human? We have to shrink that probability space. We have to tell the model what not to do. The pattern is generate X, exclude Y, contrast with Z.
Generate, exclude, contrast. Let's see it in action. Say you're writing a sales page or a YouTube script.
Okay, so your instruction is write a landing page for a productivity course. Your exclusion is avoid hype language. Do not mention hustle culture or grinding. Do not use exclamation points.
And the contrast?
Contrast this course with typical time management advice. Adopt a tone that is calm, scientific, and stoic.
That contrast part is really powerful. You're telling it, don't sound like that, sound like this.
Precisely, and the exclusion is vital. If you don't explicitly say, do not mention job replacement when writing about AI, the model will almost certainly mention job replacement because those concepts are statistically linked in its training data. You have to sever that link manually.
So if your output feels repetitive or generic, it's probably because you haven't set enough boundaries. You haven't told it what the output is not.
Correct. Boundaries define the terrain. Without them, you're just wandering in the generic wilderness.
Okay, we are on to the final pattern, number 5. And this one shifts the mindset from command and control to collaboration. It's the iterative refinement loop.
This is the pattern that separates the amateurs from the pros. Amateurs expect a one-shot miracle. They want to type one prompt and get perfection. Pros know that everything is a draft.
Which is true for humans too. I never write a perfect first draft. Why should I expect the computer to do it?
Exactly. But here's the trick. You don't have to do the revision yourself. You can offload the labor back to the machine.
I love this.
The process is generate a draft. Then ask the AI to critique its own draft against specific criteria, and then ask it to rewrite based on that critique.
So you're asking the AI to put on a different hat. First it's the writer, then it's the editor.
Yes. Let's look at the course description example from the outline. You get a draft, it's okay, but maybe it's a bit dry. So you say, evaluate this description for clarity, benefit specificity, and differentiation. Score each from 1 to 10.
And it will actually give you a score. It won't just say, oh, it's good.
It will give you a number, and it is often surprisingly harsh on itself. It might say, clarity is an 8, but benefit specificity is a 4.
And then what?
Then you say, great, rewrite the description to improve the benefit specificity score to a 9.
That is so smart, because if you just told it, make it better, it doesn't know what better means. Better is totally subjective, but if you say, improve this specific metric to a 9, it knows exactly what to do.
It turns the AI into a partner. You are iterating with it rather than just yelling at it. The source uses the phrase, iteration beats inspiration.
Iteration beats inspiration. I am literally putting that on a sticky note. So we've got our 5 patterns. Role goal constraints, context task format, chain of thought, contrast and boundaries, and the refinement loop.
It's a solid toolkit.
It is, but let's be honest, things can still go wrong. The source lists some failure modes. What's the biggest trap even when you're using these patterns?
I think the biggest one is over-verbose prompts. This is where people try to be too smart. They write these long, winding narratives about their life story in the prompt, thinking it adds context like, I was born in a small town, and I really want this business to succeed.
But it just confuses the model. It's just noise.
Right. It creates noise. The fix is to strip the narrative and keep the structural anchors. Stick to the role goal constraints. Don't write a diary entry.
And the other big one is under specify constraints, forgetting to put up those guardrails.
Which leads right back to that generic tone we talked about. If you don't limit the scope, the model will just wander. And finally, single-shot dependence, just expecting perfection immediately. You have to accept that the first output is clay, not the statue. You still have to sculpt it.
So how do we actually implement this? Because we've covered a lot of ground today. If a listener wants to start doing this today, right now, what's the action plan? The source outlines a very clear step-by-step implementation. First, define your outcome in one sentence. Know exactly what you want before you even start typing.
That makes sense.
Second, choose your pattern based on complexity. If it's simple, use role goal constraints. If it's a big decision, use chain of thought.
Match the tool to the job.
Third, add at least 2 to 3 constraints. Always. Give it boundaries. Fourth, specify the output format. Do you want a table, a list, a memo? And finally, and this is the real power move, save your high-performing prompts.
Build a template library.
Yes, if you have a prompt that writes amazing email subject lines, save it. Replace the specific topic with a placeholder. Now you have a system. You aren't reinventing the wheel every single time you open the app.
That's where the system design part comes in. You're building infrastructure for your work.
Precisely. The final thought from the source is really powerful. When you master structure, AI stops being entertainment and becomes infrastructure. Decision-making accelerates. Execution speeds up. It's not just about saving time on typing. It's about getting better outputs that allow you to move faster in your business or career.
It fundamentally changes the relationship. You're not fighting the tool anymore. You're wielding it.
Exactly.
So, here is the challenge for you watching right now. The source suggests you do this today. Take just one vague prompt you use all the time. Maybe it's, write me an email, or summarize this article. Rewrite it using the role goal constraints pattern.
Just see the difference for yourself. It takes maybe 30 extra seconds to write the structured prompt, but it saves you 10 minutes of editing on the back end.
And that adds up fast. If you save 10 minutes 5 times a day, that's almost an hour of your life back. That is real leverage.
It really is.
So, thinking about your own workflow, which part is currently suffering from random prompts? Where are you just guessing and hoping for the best? Because that is exactly where you need to start building a predictable system.
It is time to stop asking the model to figure it out and start telling it how to think.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on this system breakdown today.
Always a pleasure.
And to you watching, go build some blueprints. Subscribe and we'll catch you on the next epic breakdown.